Hi, everybody. This is Dave Jones with Storm Center Communications and GeoCollaborate. It is Saturday, July 5th, 2025. This is an update for the All Hazards Consortium, the sensitive information sharing environment, where we share information across platforms with folks like private sector liaisons within state emergency operations centers and private sector owner and operators that have to move things across the country, whether it's in the food, fuel, medical supply, logistics, even restoring power by utilities calling mutual assistance. Those trucks have to make it across state borders and get into certain areas. And we are having some mutual assistance activated, by the way. Fleet movement is requested on into Rhode Island and Massachusetts. You can see that scrolling in the red scroll bar just above me. And we also have had devastating floods in Bandera and Kerr County, Texas. They experienced historic flooding yesterday that resulted in the rapid rise of the Guadeloupe River from basically zero to more than 20 feet in a matter of hours after intense thunderstorms dropped nearly 20 inches in the hill country that drains into the Guadalupe. Flash flood warnings were issued by the National Weather Service. I'll talk about that a little bit, but I first want to turn our attention to Tropical Storm Chantal. And we do have tropical storm warnings in effect for the South Santee River, South Carolina, to Surf City, North Carolina. The tropical storm watch, by the way, is in effect from Edisto Beach to South Santee River, South Carolina. So let's take a look at this on the GOES satellite imagery. It is pretty impressive. You can see two things going on at once. Now you can see this. This is Chantal. I'm highlighting it with my cursor right here. You can see some showers and storms coming inland here a little bit. And then you can see ongoing flooding in Texas. Look at this. It's almost like a ring of storms around here, all because of high pressure located over the Ohio Valley is forcing these clouds and the moisture to come up out of the Gulf into Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, and on into Iowa now, where there's high concentrations of tropical moisture. Let's take a look at this full screen. I'll show you what's going on and point a couple of things out. Well, Chantal is spinning and increasing in intensity. Let's take a look. I'll move Chantal over here just a little bit so we can see some of the latest statistics from the National Hurricane Center. Tropical Storm Chantal, as of 2 o'clock, is strengthening. Winds are now 45 miles per hour. Minimum central pressure, 1,006 millibars, so it is going down. It's not dropping like a rock, but it is going down. Located 31.6 north, 78.7 west, and movement towards the north at 3 miles per hour. The center has been found, but it still may jump around a little bit, so it may make the track look a little bit confusing, but generally it's moving to the north, and you can see some of those clouds coming in at the coastal areas. Everybody's there at the beaches in South Carolina, Georgia, even Northeast Florida, and all along Florida, the surf is being kicked up. There are rip current warnings and high risk for rip currents all the way from North Carolina's Outer Banks down to Miami Beach, Florida. So be very, very careful. Only go swimming where there's a lifeguard present. I'll take these statistics away, show you what it looks like on the bigger picture. And this is what we have. Chantal, we have storms in the Gulf, and we also have ongoing flash flooding in Texas. Let's take a little bit closer look in on Chantal right now. This is the high-resolution GOES satellite imagery, and I have the sea surface temperature data turned on underneath, and it's still plenty warm. You can see what's going on here. We have the circulation center is right about in here, and the storms are to the east of that center. The hurricane recon flights that came through this area here recorded about 50-knot winds, so they reduced them a little bit going down to the surface. That's why we have 45-knot wind or 45-mile-per-hour winds in Chantal. But you can see, look at these bands. You can see these bands coming in here. That is something that is conducive of, indicative of tropical storm formation, and they are really looking quite impressive right now. It looks like folks from Charleston to the north will feel most of the impacts, and I would say even perhaps Myrtle Beach to the north. Let's get in with some 1-minute satellite imagery, and I'll show you what it looks like here. I'll point out Myrtle Beach. Here's Myrtle Beach right in here, and you can see some clouds, high-level clouds moving from south to north, and the low-level clouds bringing in some rain showers, and then it clears up real quick. This is Myrtle Beach right now, live as we take a look, and you can see those puffy cumulus clouds out there. Look at the flags. The flags are really going inland there. The onshore wind is really gusty, and you have periods of sunshine, periods of clouds, periods of tropical rain showers. So people are getting out and about as they can, dodging these rain showers, and you can really see one there just to the left of the screen, coming in off of the ocean, and that is something that's also visible on radar, and I'm going to show you that here. I'll pull up the radar data so you can see what it looks like. Here is, this is the radar out of Wilmington, North Carolina, and I'm going to take this in a little bit closer. Here is Myrtle Beach just up here, and look at this. So here's Myrtle Beach, and here is a line of showers and storms that are headed to Myrtle Beach right now. And you can see that in that camera that I just showed coming in on the left-hand side of the screen. So there you have it. Look at that. That is a very heavy line of showers and storms. It's going to be headed inland. We're watching it on the radar data, and that is something that's going to impact the folks there in Myrtle Beach. So if you're in Myrtle Beach, you're going to be feeling the impacts of this, and there could be very gusty winds with this line of storms coming in too. This is an outer band from Chantal, as Chantal gains a little bit of strength in the Atlantic Ocean and will move to the north. So from Myrtle Beach north, I think that's where we're going to see the biggest impacts. I'll zoom out here just a little bit so you can see the broad precipitation pattern here out of the Wilmington radar, and you can almost see some banding features here close to the center. The radar beam is pretty high up in the atmosphere here, so we're not catching everything close to the ground, but that's what it looks like right now, and these outer bands will be impacting throughout the day the coastal areas, and then the rain will get pretty intense from Myrtle Beach north into Oak Island, Cape Fear River there, Wilmington, North Carolina, up towards Jacksonville. That seems to be the area where the biggest impact will be from the standpoint of waves, wind, and also potential flooding. Now, the system is expected to move inland and cause some flooding as well. And I want to show you that on GeoCollaborate. So let's go over to that here, and I'll show you what it looks like. This colorful area is the probability of tropical storm force winds. I'll get in here a little bit closer. You can see the radar that I have turned on under this area of probability of tropical storm force winds. And the Hurricane Center does have the storm making landfall somewhere around Myrtle Beach. Again, the center is somewhat questionable right now, but it could be placed to the east or to the west next time they have an airplane fix. But look at this, making landfall by 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. So I would say anytime after midnight, and from North Myrtle Beach all the way up to Wilmington and perhaps Jacksonville, North Carolina, you'll start to feel those storms come inland, and heavy rain, squally weather, very gusty winds. So winds could gust 50, 55 miles per hour. That could bring some trees down, snap some limbs, and have some impact on critical infrastructure like coastal roads, bridges, and also trees. So trees that get knocked down, limbs that could get knocked down, could block some of the roadways, side streets, and all that stuff during the morning tomorrow till about noon to 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And then it quickly diminishes to a depression here, but it will have rainfall with it. And that rainfall could be intense at times. And so this is the probability of tropical storm force winds right now. The highest probability in the purple and also the red. And you can see where it's coming inland, right around Myrtle Beach here. So it is very likely that you'll experience tropical storm force winds tomorrow morning between here and Wilmington. and I'd say probably between 40 and 45 mile per hour winds. So it's not devastating, but it could be if you're under a tree limb and that tree limb breaks. Needless to say, this wind, and there you can see the slight outline of where the tropical storm force winds are right here. That is to the east of the center, and that's pretty much what we can see in the satellite imagery as well. Remember, I showed you the high resolution satellite image? Well, I can enhance those clouds as well and show you what that looks like. This is enhanced. I've combined two different satellite channels, infrared and the visible, so you can see where the majority of the storminess is right here in the orange and the red here. This is a very intense thunderstorm. There's a storm line of storms coming into Myrtle Beach right about here. That's on the outer fringes of Chantal. But this is about where the center of the storm is, so it's not vertically aligned. We're not going to get an intensifying system very rapidly if the center at the surface is over here and we're getting most of the thunderstorm activity way over here. They have to be stacked up, almost like a chimney, for this to work very efficiently and the storm to intensify. Excuse me. For the storm to intensify rapidly. We're not going to see that with Chantal. But if you're under one of these squalls that come in, you're going to feel it. You're going to say, wow, that was pretty strong, and it could have gusty winds in it as well. So this is the majority of the storminess that's going to be headed to the north. So I'd say from Myrtle Beach up to Wilmington and perhaps Jacksonville in North Carolina, that's where the bulk of the impact is going to be along the coastline. And that's going to continue from about midnight tonight until about noon tomorrow. It's not a fast mover. It's moving pretty slow, actually, just 2 miles per hour, 2 to 3 miles per hour. Let's go back to GeoCollaborate. I'll show you what it looks like from the standpoint of the radar and the watches and warnings. This blue area here, tropical storm warnings in effect from Wilmington on down, including the Cape Fear River, across the border into South Carolina, and right down here to about South Myrtle Beach. And this is what it looks like. There's a tropical storm watch in effect for Charleston. And that's this whole Grand Strand here. Then it turns into a tropical storm warning. Here's that line of storms once again that's headed towards Myrtle Beach. Let's see what it looks like. Oh boy, look at that. There's that line of showers and storms that are coming inland. It's not wasting any time coming inland either. And we could have winds gusting to 40 miles per hour out of this particular line of storms. And it's moving in quickly. You can see the winds and the flags still blowing at a good clip. And there's quite a few people still walking on the boardwalk. They're about to get wet as this moves inland. Let's take a look at the radar one more time. We can see what it looks like from the standpoint of Myrtle Beach. Let's zoom in here. There it is. There's Myrtle Beach right here. And here's that line of storms. It's not going to last long, but it is going to be quite impactful. And there it is one more time, almost like a shelf cloud coming in, and you can see precipitation falling there beyond across the ocean there. But the waves are really kicking up. No swimming today in Myrtle Beach and along the South Carolina coastline because of those rip currents and the danger. It's just very dangerous to be out there and letting that water get any higher than your ankles. And so the beach patrol is patrolling there up and down, keeping people out of the water. But that's a very impressive look right now to this storm, line of storms coming in into Myrtle Beach. And once again, the radar data, here is that line of storms coming right in. And so the people of Myrtle Beach are going to get wet, and they're going to see those winds pick up too. Now, one other thing that I want to show you here is related to precipitation and how we can see how much moisture is in the atmosphere is with this. This is the blended total precipitable water. I've showed you this before, and it really gives us a good indication of where all the moisture is around the country and around the world. This is from the Office of Satellite and Product Operations at NOAA's NESDIS division. That's their satellite division. And they pulled together a whole bunch of different satellite products and soundings and things like that to put this product together so we can see how much moisture is in the atmosphere. And here's some things I want to point out. Here is Chantal. And you can see all that moisture over Florida starting to concentrate now. And that's why we have a tropical storm right now. And you can see that moisture heading to the north into South Carolina and North Carolina. That doesn't mean this is the heavy rain. It's just the amount of rain, the amount of moisture in the atmosphere. So this is pretty impressive here. The other thing I want you to see is look at all this moisture coming out of the Gulf into Texas. We're seeing this historic rainfall in south central Texas here that has caused widespread devastation. And that is the rainfall that impacted Bandera and Kerr County, Texas. They had that historic flooding yesterday that resulted in the rapid rise of that Guadeloupe River. It was basically just a trickle river. Some areas didn't have any water in it. But all of a sudden had 20 to 25 feet of water coming down because of the intense rain falling at 5 to 6 inches per hour in Bandera and Kerr County here. And that's what you see, all of this moisture really ringing out over Texas. And it's not done yet. The other thing that you can see is the spinning of a tropical system that has really been diminished. But look at all this moisture down here. This is where additional storms may form. There's plenty of tropical moisture. And it's very moist also in the Caribbean, throughout the Caribbean. And we can see patches of high concentrations of moisture moving across the Atlantic into the Caribbean and in the Gulf. Let's just check it out one more time in Myrtle Beach. This is a live camera here at 3:40 Eastern time. And look at that. The wind and the rain is overtaking Myrtle Beach right now. So everybody's scattering about, going back into their homes because this outer band of pretty heavy showers and storms is making its way right now through the Myrtle Beach town. And no one's out there on the beach now. At least they shouldn't be. You can see the wind is really whipping out there as this comes ashore. With Chantal just off the coast, the other thing that's very important for observing what the winds are and what the waves are headed towards the coastline is to take a look at surface ocean observing systems. This is critical. That's why we have buoys out there. We have drifters. We have gliders that are going up and down in the ocean, giving us a taste of what it looks like. But I want to give you just a little indication of these observations. We can click on them interactively. This is GeoCollaborate. Take a look at this 41013 buoy. This is a National Data Buoy Center from NOAA. Operational buoy, winds east at 23 knots, gusting to almost 30 knots. That's still below tropical storm force. And that is showing us the extent of the tropical storm wind field. It's not quite out there yet. Other areas could see gusts a little bit higher than that too. Look at the water temperature, 81, almost 82 degrees. Get in a little bit closer to the coastline here. Significant wave height, almost 5 feet here at station SSBN 7. That's right on the border of North and South Carolina, very close to the coast. Right there. Water temperature almost 83 degrees. And then if we head down towards Myrtle Beach, let's see some of these observation stations. No data at that particular one or this one here. But down towards Charleston, gusting to 35 knots. So that's tropical storm force. Easterly wind, 25.3 knots, gusting to 35 knots. That is a tropical storm force wind. Water temperature of 82 degrees. So some of these bands are producing tropical storm force wind gusts. Get a little bit further out to sea here, gusting to tropical storm force, a northeast wind. So we can use these observation platforms out in the ocean to paint a picture of what the winds look like and the direction. Look at this south-southeast wind, south-southeast. So it's coming in this way. It's on the buoys is going this way. So we can almost outline the circulation of this storm. These observations are really important. I mean, let's take a look at some of the wave heights that are coming in here. Wave height 5.2 feet. So that's a pretty high wave height, 5 to 6 foot waves coming in very close to the shore here. And also some of these observation stations out here, some of them don't have data. They need their instruments fixed. They need to get worked on a little bit. Here's one here, almost an 8-foot significant wave height. So we're going to be seeing some choppy seas as this storm Chantal makes its way closer to the coastline, and we'll see the waves increase significantly north of Myrtle Beach here up towards the Outer Banks of North Carolina. Let's see if we can get a little indication of what the waves are in this area. Winds east-southeast gusting to 17, so it's gusty all along the Outer Banks here out towards Cape Hatteras. Look at that, 3.6 foot significant wave heights are not too bad right now. Water temperature 81. Those wave heights will go up as Chantal makes its way inland. So looking west, this is Texas, and this is the Weather Service's outlook for the next 3 days for excessive rainfall. And you can see that excessive rainfall is still likely and ongoing, including Austin and Killeen, Texas, and San Antonio, where flash flood warnings are going on right now. And I put this place marker here in Kerrville, where those devastating floods happened that killed so many people, and resulting in the search and rescue efforts right now for more than 20 girls who were camping along the Guadeloupe River. So what I want to know is whether or not the camp and campgrounds along the Guadeloupe River have no weather radio. It's a simple radio that can be programmed to receive alerts for your location. Matter of fact, I was at a meeting with Bruce Jones at the AMS Broadcast Meteorology Conference in Boise, Idaho. Bruce works for Midland Radio, and they manufacture no-weather radios. And he was saying that counties can even be broken down into sub-regions to get even more targeted warnings. So I have 2 no-weather radios with me right now that you can get, and it might just save your life. This first one here is a portable no-weather radio. It's very small. This is the antenna that comes up here. And not only is it solar powered, but you can crank it. You can pull this crank out and crank it up and charge the battery. So this is a portable no-weather radio that will set off an alert whenever there are warnings that happen in your area. This is critical to have. It even has a flashlight. So if you're sleeping and the no-weather radio goes off, the flashlight turns on and you can see your way to safety. It has the antenna to get the no-weather radio broadcast, and it packs up into a little package like this. You can charge it with a USB cable. You can charge it with the solar panel, and then you can just turn it on. And when you turn it on, it creates
winds around 5 miles an hour. Sunday.
The official forecast from the National Weather Service. And that's something that could save your life. There's another no-weather radio too, a little larger one, but it's still portable. And that's this one right here. This is the no-weather radio that you can plug into the wall, or you can put in your battery, put batteries into it. And you can program it for your county and even sub-regions within your region of the National Weather Service. Just talk to them at the local Weather Service office and get codes for the areas in which you live. And this sits right on your bedside, right on the nightstand, can sit in the living room, can sit in other areas. And when severe weather threatens, that is what will set off this alert on the no-weather radio. And it tells you right in the display whether it's a tornado warning, a severe thunderstorm warning, what is headed your way. And it even has a plug on the back for external alerts. If you want to turn on any lights, if you have any friends or family that are hard of hearing, it could activate lights or even a siren, something like that, that can give you the warning that you need. These are essential for places like campgrounds and using for outdoor activities. I really am a strong believer that we need to have weather resources available for all campgrounds, RV parks, any outdoor activities. So at least a NOAA weather radio can help you save your life by telling you what severe weather is headed in your direction. Flash flood warning, a flash flood emergency will make these alert and make them go off so you can stay safe. And that's what I want to know. Were NOAA weather radios available in these areas where the floods have occurred? We're going to see more and more extreme weather events, including flash floods. We have more moisture in the atmosphere. Moisture is pumping in out of the Gulf. The Gulf is at very high temperatures. The Atlantic, very high temperatures. The Mediterranean, all around the world, temperatures of the ocean are skyrocketing. And that is adding moisture into the atmosphere. So when it rains and the conditions are there for heavy rain, it's going to rain even more intensely. And we're going to see more floods like we saw in Texas. So this kind of data we're looking at from NASA, it's critical. We need to keep these observations going so we can understand the nature of these storms that are forming and dropping such intense rainfall. It's like we're in a new era, and that era includes a lot more moisture. Humidity levels are going up just about everywhere. So we're going to be monitoring what's going on all over the place, monitoring the Atlantic Ocean as Chantal wraps up and makes its way inland between the South Carolina and North Carolina border. We are going to have heavy rain and potential floods. We're going to be monitoring what's going on in Texas. We just have overall much more moisture in the atmosphere. So before we end, I want to talk about where are we headed with this system? Where's the moisture going to go? And what does it look like over the next couple of days? So here's the forecast model, and this is the GFS. You can see Chantal there off the southeast coast. I'm showing the entire country so you can see where you live and what's headed your way. We do have dry conditions in the southwest. We have high pressure dominating there. It is monsoon season in Arizona, New Mexico, so may get some of those rain showers moving up in there from winds from the south and the southeast coming up from the tropics. Also, Chantal. Chantal has some heavy rain with it. Again, maybe some flooding, but I'm going to put this into motion and show you what it looks like, where it's going to head. And you can see that landfall there. The landfall specific point is not really that important. It's the moisture that it's going to bring inland with it. Also, a storm surge of perhaps 1 to 2, maybe 3 feet in certain areas as it comes ashore. We'll see if it strengthens anymore between now and landfall around 8 o'clock in the morning tomorrow. But you can see the moisture is pretty concentrated along the coast there and not really going to make it that much further north. But that's the precipitation that you see. The moisture in the air, the humidity, the stickiness. You're going to feel it coming up over Virginia and Maryland and New Jersey. You're going to feel that moisture in there. And then over the course of the next couple of days, we're going to squeeze out showers and storms. And this is by Tuesday night. We'll see another quote unquote front. It's not really a strong front, but a trough in the atmosphere come through and act as a foci, a focal point for rain showers. So you can see over next week, it's going to be on and off hits with showers and perhaps storms that could drop some significant rain in certain areas. Some of this ground is saturated. A lot of rain in southeastern Pennsylvania. Have to keep an eye out for that. And then up in the upper Midwest by the end of the week, we're looking at another chance for showers and storms. But we'll be monitoring Chantal. We'll be monitoring what's going on in the tropics. It is certainly something to keep an eye on. And that Myrtle Beach storm is moving through, and we're going to see it start to clear up shortly. So thanks so much for watching this update. I'm Dave Jones with Storm Center Communications and GeoCollaborate. I appreciate your attention. This has been an update for the All Hazards Consortium and the Sensitive Information Sharing Environment. We'll be back tomorrow with another update, or later on today if conditions warrant. We're monitoring Tropical Storm Chantal. It's going to bring a lot of rain inland into South Carolina and North Carolina, mostly north of Myrtle Beach. And some of the storm tides could reach a foot or two, storm surges, foot or two above the high tide level. And when high tide happens, we could have some coastal inundation along those immediate roadways there. So thanks so much for watching. We'll be back tomorrow with another update. Please watch out for yourself and watch out for your neighbors. They really do appreciate it. Be safe.